Welcome back to State of Sonder. I am so excited for today's episode. Today I bring on East, who is an incredibly talented tattoo artist. And I had started following East in 2016, and I was always like looking at his Instagram and thinking, okay, one day I'm going to get a tattoo from him. And then over the years, I kind of stopped getting tattoos. And the main reason being I like hid them from my parents for like 15 years. And then last year they actually found out, but they did not really care, which I found shocking. So after that, I was like, okay, I'm like open to getting a couple more, but now I'm really particular about like what I get and who I get it from. And then I wanted to get the word Sonder. I mean, my podcast is State of Sonder, but that word just is so meaningful for me. And I knew that this tattoo was one that like it was time to go to East because I knew no one else would do it exactly the way that I wanted. And so that's how I met East. He did my Sonder tattoo on the back of my arm. And then we just kind of started chatting, and he had heard my podcast, and I was like, would you like to come on? And he was so open, and I was so grateful because the conversation we had was so amazing. And East just approaches life with this very refreshing perspective. And I think it really grounded me as we were having this conversation and just like opened my eyes to like kind of appreciate the little things in life, the simplicity of life, and just like going back into that like childlike nature that lives in all of us. East is just such a kind person, so generous. And he actually, I went back, I don't know, like a month ago, and he ended up doing a second piece for me that is so meaningful. And so I think East is like the only person I'll go to from now on for my tattoos. But, you know, yesterday I posted a little like teaser clip, and just the amount of love that was coming in for East, it just is a testament to who he is. And I'm just so glad that I got to meet him and that I got to have this special conversation. I really, really love this episode, and I hope you enjoy. Hello, East. Welcome to State of Sonder.
Hello. Hi. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Of course. I'm so happy to have you. I knew of you. Like, I actually looked back on Instagram because I was like, when did I first start following East? It was 2016. So I knew of you way back. And then I remember looking at your work and I was like, okay, I need to get a tattoo from him one day. And then I think it was like, so I was going to stop getting tattoos because I hid them from my parents for 10 years. And then this past year in 2025, my parents found out and they were like, we don't care. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get some more. And so then when I was getting my Sonder tattoo, which is probably it is my most meaningful tattoo, obviously, like my podcast and everything, I was like, okay, it's time. I'm going to go to East and get this tattoo. So then you just did it for me, like very recently. Okay. So I kind of want to, before like diving into like tattooing and all of that, I kind of want to know like who you were before tattooing came into your life. Like what was your, like, where did you grow up? And like, kind of what is your backstory in a way? Wait, the mic has to be.
I'm from Singapore.
Okay.
And before I became a tattoo artist, I was in the army.
Oh.
Yes. So I was in the army for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then turns out it's not a career for me. So, and then the only way to get out of, training and stuff like that, if you get hurt, injured or something like that. So I kind of got injured a little bit. So I get a, homesick leave, they call it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
is army? Because in Korea, army is like mandatory when you.
Yes.
So it is.
It is mandatory.
Okay.
But I decided to make it into my career because then I quit school for like when I was really young. And then just to show my dad I'm doing something with my life, I joined the army, which is a bad idea. Not so bad, but yeah. And then, and I have a friend that owns a tattoo shop. It's a good friend. So I started hanging out there, just help him clean the shop, then get free tattoos, and then, and then it just happened.
to go into that path. So,
Yeah.
so when you were younger, like you were saying, like you didn't like school and stuff. So like, was creativity always something that was in you, like artistically?
Yeah, I would say artistically. No, I don't really like to use that word. I don't know why, but it's just it's just something that basically, if I want to do something, I want to do it. I like to invent stuff, make stuff. I like do things with my hand. So that played a part. I think it's just a character, I guess. So.
Okay, so then you started doing the tattoo shop with your friend,
Yes.
and then how did that kind of like grow into your career? Like, because tattooing is very specific. It's also like a permanent thing. And so like when you were at the shop, what kind of like drew you to it or inspired you to want to make this like your career path?
Well, okay, it's hard to explain because it's never planned at all. Never planned. So subconsciously I'm learning how to tattoo because I know what people are doing. And then, one day me and my friend, we got drunk, so I remember it was like maybe like 5 o'clock in the morning. And then it was just me and him. And then he was like, he wants to get a smiley face on his wrist. So I'm like, what? Do it. And then I'm like, dude, are you serious? You've been here for so long. You know what they're doing? I was like, okay. So I did it. And then it felt so free. It felt like I don't have to worry about anything. It's just like, it feels like you're a kid again. So I'm like, wow, I could do this. So I decided to make it, I didn't think about being my career at all. So just kind of like doing it just because it's fun. It's like, it's easy. I'm like my own, whatever I want, But, I didn't get into it immediately. So after I finished my service, I want to feel like how other people are. Not like what a regular job is. So I decided to be a barista.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was a barista for like a year.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it was fun, and then but it was like, man, it's hard work.
But you were in the army, like that is the hardest.
Yeah, but in the army, pretty much, you just do what people tell you. So it was kind of okay, But being a barista, you're like making people's drink and food for them to start their day. So, but I met a lot of people. It was fun. It was nice. Until one day, my friend just like, okay, I think you should just
do that.
come back. And I don't see this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, all right. So I just left like immediately. Yeah, I just told my manager, I think I'm not going to do this anymore. And it was bad, but I shouldn't quit that way. But I just quit.
And then you started tattooing at your friend's shop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Singapore.
In Singapore. So I just started, doing clients and and it was. I don't think of it as a serious thing at all. It's just like I say, I feel like a kid.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's do this.
But like when clients start coming to you, so like, can you tell me like how the beginning of a tattoo artist's journey is? Because you're working with like things that are permanently on people, right? So like that beginning part, because now you've been doing it for so long that it's second nature to you. But initially, it's not, right? It's like, so what was that like in the beginning? And like getting people to like trust you to do it?
Well, I think that's the difficult part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like I think it's more of making people comfortable. If you make people comfortable, if you're nice to them, just be present. Like I know this is what people like. Somebody being there. If you kind of do that, then they trust you with it. But of course, I mean, like, it's deeper than that. I'll try to not like mess things up.
Yeah, of course.
Which happened sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
It did.
Yes,
Okay, I was gonna ask if it ever has.
Yeah, but it's always fixable. You got to be able to, you fix your own problem. So you got to do it on the fly or just kind of like, yeah, you got to be able to fix it. Right there and then, give yourself a chance to like, okay, fix it later, or just kind of, explain yourself and stuff like that.
So you've had situations where
I have situations like that before. Yeah, it's inevitable. Anything you do.
Wait, so how would you fix it per se?
Well, if thing really goes not so bad, it's like it's never so bad.
Yeah.
I would say maybe like 10% bad. So I'll always have them come back another day. Or when they realize something, when they go home after a week or so, they will let me know, and then that's where it gives me a chance to like, recollect what I did and then try to fix it. And it's always fixable. Yeah. So there's a bit of a leeway for you to navigate. Yeah. So
I always wondered that because I was like, oh my God, I feel like I would be so scared. But I'm sure it happens to every artist.
Oh yeah, I have like cold sweats. It's just like, oh my God, oh man,
Oh my God. I mean, that's all part of the process.
That's all part of it. You gotta make mistakes.
Yeah. So from Singapore, like, how did you come out to LA?
Well, it was an impulse decision actually. I was working with my friend, and then he decided to close the shop, and then me and another guy that works over there, we decided to take it over, and then along the way he have different path, so, and it's time for me to move on, and the decision to come to LA was my friend told me, why don't you just do what you want to do, like go somewhere. I was like, yeah, I would love to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go to, first I wanted to go to Europe. Yeah, and then it's kind of like far away. So I thought maybe I can go to Japan or Hong Kong or something like that. But the language barrier might be a bit of a problem. And then I remember my friend, his name is Coco. He's like my childhood friend. So he's in California. So I was like, you know what? Okay, let's go there. So I planned this whole thing where I will go to places everywhere, and then finally I'll decide where to settle. Yeah, because like I spent 7 years of my life, in the army.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I volunteered when I was like almost 17. So I missed a lot, like a lot, So I'm like, okay, this time I'm gonna wake up when I want to. So I was like, all right. So the decision was made. And then the next day, this is before when, you can just book your plane tickets online. So there's a traveling agency downstairs.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, can I get the next flight to LA?
Yeah.
And it was like a week and a half. And I bought a ticket and that was it.
Oh my gosh. So then did you come to LA and then you just were like, I love it here, like I'm gonna settle here? Or like did you kind of move around a bit?
Well, I never thought about settling here. Yeah. So I didn't even know what LA is. All I know about California is from like the TV shows. Like Baywatch or like Beverly Hills 90210, Yeah. So I thought it was like that. So I went to the airport and then, and then got here and then I'm like, oh, okay. So, and then somehow Hollywood. So I'm like, okay, this is Hollywood. All right then. So then I called my buddy Coco and then he met up with me over here and then we just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
And then, I was just still floating around.
Okay. So then when you started tattooing out here, like where did that journey begin? Like because I know you've been to different places. So like, how did you start tattooing here?
Okay. The plan was to start tattooing. It's going to be like, they have this thing called traveling artists. So they will just hire anybody, you know. So, and then happens to be Hollywood Boulevard. There's a whole bunch of shops over there.
Yep.
You know, so I have my equipment. It's not much, but it was like way less than I thought, you know.
Yeah.
So I went to the tattoo shop with my little album with what pictures I've done, the tattoos. And then surprisingly, everybody wants to hire me. Yeah. But it's not like, oh wow, you're good. No, it's, you know, those shops, they're not owned by tattoo artists. You know, they're just there, they hire the tattoo artist, and then you do your own thing, you tattoo whatever you want to do, and at the end of the day, you just give half the cut to the store.
Half. Wow.
Yeah, so that was the deal. So they don't really care how good you are. So it was kind of an easy gig to get a job, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, at the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, if this doesn't work out, I'll just wash some dishes. It's fine, you know, whatever. You know? I was staying at a hostel, so I don't have to worry about anything. So yeah, so I just, you know, I just walk into the shop, and then there's like maybe like four shops, I think, to choose from. And I'm like, okay, this is nice. Okay, so I just land there and just sit down and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
much.
with your like kind of style of tattooing, because now you have a very particular style, and a lot of people come to you because of like, you know, like the fine line and all of that. So like, how did you kind of come to your style of tattooing, and how did it evolve from when you first started?
When I first started, I do big tattoos, like big tattoos, like sleeves and back pieces and stuff like that. So yes, is like completely different from what I'm doing right now. Yeah, so I try different styles. You know, my first style that I was really into was Maori. Maori, Tahiri, you know.
Very like
Like, you know, so I was really into that, like the Borneo style. You know, there's a lot of black work, you know, you fill in spaces and stuff like that. So I was really into that. So I was doing that. And then I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool, you know. And then I guess it's time to move on. Somehow I just feel, okay, don't do this anymore, do something else. So I start doing, I venture into the Japanese style tattoos. You know, so I was doing that for a while, and then I'm like, okay, so all right, so now what's next? You know, so and then I started doing portraits and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so like I change whenever I feel like I can't go any further. You know, so once I feel that, okay, that I can't go any further in this is pretty much it, you know, then I decided to do that. And then after doing portraits, which is like just regular black and gray stuff, you know, so I dig in deeper to photorealism with color works. Yeah, so I did that. Yeah. So I took it as far as I can until like there's nothing else I can do. You know, this is pretty much it. I think I mean, you know, I think when I reached the peak, once I reached that peak, I'm like, okay, so this is it. So what's next? And then that's how, you know, going through a little bit of burnouts and, you know, mental health issues. You know? It's like, oh, you know. So, and then I decided to dabble into like fine line stuff. Yeah. So that's how the journey is.
Yeah. So when you first started doing fine line, like, because now fine line has become a thing. A lot of people like that dainty look. But back then, I feel like it was still really dark ink and like people liked big pieces. So when you started this fine line tattooing, like, what do you feel like the industry was kind of like? Like, how did you navigate doing that kind of specific art? And then did people like want to come get that? Or were they still like, oh, I want the dark ink kind of stuff?
Well, the whole industry changed because you know, now in a way, subconsciously targeting a whole set of clientele,
Yeah.
a whole set of people. So those big tattoos, everybody wants a tattoo, but nobody wants something big like that.
Yeah.
So they want meaningful small tattoos. So I'm like, okay, so why not just give it to them? It's what they want. And then back then, only tattoo artists only do big stuff. And they don't really because the bigger the stuff the tattoo is, there's more forgiveness. You can forgive yourself. You can kind of like, okay, okay, you don't have to be good at this area. This area must be nice. So you can kind of like, there's a lot of freedom in that. So, so I think that's the reason why they stay away from smaller stuff like that, because it's like, you pretty much have to relearn how to do it, and when things goes to like that small and everything has to be perfect, there's a lot of concentration.
Yeah.
You have to like be very particular. You have to make it, because it's less forgiving. Every single thing can be seen. So a lot of tattoo artists are against it. And it's so they're like, oh, this is not art. That kind of stuff. So, but for me, it's it's all about perfection. It's all about perfection. If you do it perfect and nice, right? That right there and then itself, it shows.
Yeah.
That it's not just a tattoo. It's something that is like exactly what people want. It's the same thing as doing a big tattoo as well.
Yeah. But it's just a lot more precision.
Yeah, a lot more precision, and the whole thing, the whole procedure is the same, but it's just much more difficult. So and for me, it's like after doing big tattoos and everything, so I understand how to do it in a small,
Do you feel, because you said in other types of art or tattooing, you felt like you hit a limit, right?
Yes.
But with this, do you feel like you're always kind of learning?
Yeah. Well, it's not about learning at all anymore to me. It's more about, I know it sounds cliche, experience, but it feels very personal. So it just evolves more than just being an art itself. It's deeper in that. It becomes personal, and it becomes very it's not like, the word is not a burden,
Yeah.
but a responsibility.
Responsibility, yeah.
The responsibility is very high. The responsibility is higher. It's just evolved to something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Can you touch on that a little bit more, just like that personal aspect? Because obviously you have worked with so many people, and a lot of times people come to you with, like tattooing is, sometimes it's like, I just want a smiley face, right? But there is this aspect of like a deeper meaning when people get tattoos. Like for me, getting Sonder was like a really big deal for me. Like this is something so meaningful to my heart, and for me to entrust that in you to do it, there is a little connection and like relationship you create with your artist.
Yeah.
So like you're saying how like it is a very personal experience. So what have you kind of, I guess, like learned, but also experienced with, tattooing with so many different kinds of people, and like the art that they bring to get on them?
Throughout my journey, I realized that, everybody wants to be happy, but you there's a level of happiness, and then everybody tries to be happy at that level. They have a set standard, they have a goal, they want to be that happy, right? But I think a lot of people are forgetting I create my own saying. It's called pockets of happiness. So for me, I come to a point where I just want to chase the little pockets of happiness, And in a way, small tattoos like a smile face is a person's little pockets of happiness, and they're chasing, you know. So and like when they try to chase that little pockets of happiness, right? Of course, they need somebody to achieve it for them, you know. And then who else is better to somebody that understands that? And I understand that concept, you know, little pockets of happiness, you know. So when somebody comes in, that is their little pockets of happiness, and I encourage that, and you know, and I totally agree with what they want, you know.
Yeah.
If it is bad, I advise that. I always advise people, you know, but I always look at that, you know. These are little pockets of happiness. Let it be anything, you know. So and to me, that's where my tattooing evolved to, you know, helping individual to achieve their little pockets of happiness.
I love
know?
that. That's
Yeah.
so beautiful. So like, you know how you're saying a lot of times people try to chase that like high of happiness, and you have now thought like, okay, no, like find the little pockets, right? Was there something in your life that like brought you to that like realization?
Yeah, it's you know, everyone wants to be the best. You know, they want to be the best, and they want to be able to get the best things, the best anything. You know, and to be honest, it's, you know, they're not achievable if you really think about it. You know, unless you stumble upon something that makes you able to achieve it. You know, so for me, I've always chased that. You know, when you chase that, of course, as human being, you know, you know, you tend to forget what. Again, it sounds very cliche. You know, it's like you forget about the most important things. You know, and most of the time it affects your love life. You know, not only with your partner, your wife, with everybody, everything. You know, so it affects that, and then people don't realize that until it's too late, I would say. You know, so like I've been there. You know, I've achieved a whole bunch of things that a lot of tattoo artists or people in general wants to achieve, and I've done that. You know, but it, you know, it comes at a cost. You know, a very big cost. You know, you can have everything, but you can't have everything.
Yeah.
You know, you'll be given something, but something will be taken away. I guess this is just how it works, I guess.
The ebb
you
and
know?
flow of life. Yeah.
And it happened, you know. So yeah, so I experienced that throughout my whole career, or, you know, my whole journey, you know. And then so it's just and then it's just, I don't know, it's just, I just feel that, you know, it's, if I can like show it to somebody, I guess I would.
Yeah.
But that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know, like you achieve something, but you lose a lot of things. You know, and then when you lose a lot of things, you just, you know, let's be honest, you can't get it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just see things differently.
Yeah, you know.
So like now that you've come to this place of like realizing these things, like what did you find that maybe you would do differently, or what did you find that you value now because you went through all of that?
I have thought about that. You know, this, you know, when the question is asked, like what I would change differently, you know, honestly, there's no answer to that. You know, like you have to waste time. That's how it is.
Yeah.
You know, time has to be a waste no matter what. You know, so like, I mean, of course, everyone wants to change something, you know, but you know, these little things matters a lot. You know, people write movies about it.
Yeah.
You know, if one little thing you didn't happen to be in that, maybe that liquor store, things would never happen. You know, you never meet someone down the street, things will never happen. So it's best not to try to change things.
Yeah.
You know, and look at it where, you know, times has to be wasted.
Yeah.
No matter what, you have to waste time.
And you learn from it no matter what.
Yeah, no matter
Yeah.
what, you have that's how it goes. You know,
Yeah.
just spend it and forget about it.
Yeah. So what in this season now, like what do you think do you value and protect in your life?
I think the most thing I value and protect, I mean, you know, I think it's my happiness. Yeah, you gotta. I don't worry about like wasting time. You know, it's just chasing pockets of happiness.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I just value that of all. You know, if I get a chance to like, if I want to dabble into something silly, you know, I would just do it because you know, in a sense, I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah.
It's really waste, so might as well waste it on something silly. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying.
So
Yeah.
I don't really. I think you know, being content is everything.
So throughout your career and your journey, like I'm sure being in this industry too, it's competitive. There's a lot of people doing it and like you want to stand out or like be set apart. So like throughout your journey, what kind of challenges did you personally face?
When I started doing the fine line tattoos, you know, it was pretty much me and another person. So we were the only one that was doing it, like a lot, you know. And this is, I think, before everyone else in the world is doing it, you know. So I was at the right time where this happened, you know. So there is not much thing that would really kind of, you know, challenges, I would say. There's not much challenges for me because like doing the tattoo itself, I already have the experience. So now it's just pretty much, you know, dealing with people, you know. So yeah, I wouldn't say there's any challenges for me. You know, well, in the tattoo industry, in my industry, there's a lot of pushbacks.
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden, everywhere in the world, you have people coming in asking for what I do, you know, and then artists in that world, majority of them, you know, all of them don't really know how to do it because it involves like learning how to tattoo again, you know. So that's the only pushback I have. You know, people are saying like, you know, I have people telling me, don't do this. You're a better artist than just doing this, you know. So that is the kind of pushback. But you know, eventually, you know, people accept it, and then your work shows for itself. You know, so you know they will get more upset because it's like, oh, you know, because they can't do it, but eventually they will be forced to upset. Oh, okay, so this is much more deeper than what it is. Yeah.
How do you feel like you've stayed grounded in like trusting yourself and trusting your work? Because, you know, there's a lot of egos in play. There's a lot of like pushback, like you said. So throughout your journey, how have you kind of been like stayed grounded in who you are and what kind of work you want to produce?
Grounded, I mean, those kind of situations never come to my head. Yeah, I was, you know, I was married at that time, so you know, it was, and then you know, my career just took off. You know, so I was like from dirt poor to like I'm able to provide. You know, so I just focus on providing. You know, and providing people with you know, their pockets of happiness, little pockets of happiness, and then providing for my family at a time. You know, so that was the only thing that I focused on, like completely day and night. So yeah, I don't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You didn't even have the like space to think about all of these other things. Like you were just like heads down, this is what I'm doing.
yeah, heads down. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make as much people as I can to be happy. You know, and everyone. I just want to make everyone happy. You know, it becomes like a mission. You know, so and I was like driven to that, you know, and of course I can make myself happy.
Yeah.
You know, it turns out that I don't have to chase small pockets or bigger pockets of happiness, you know. So I just, you know, just go straight forward. And it was really hectic and busy because I was like kind of the only one that is doing it too, you know, so I have no time to think about anything else, you know, so it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure. So like what now, because you're talking about how what you do, it brings other people like pockets of happiness. Like for me too, like getting my tattoo was like, I was so excited, you know? But like, what do you do for yourself now for your own happiness? Because even before we started filming, you were showing me all your like crazy gear and camera gear. And I'm like, wait, you have an entire camera shop.
Yes.
So like, what do you do for like yourself, or like what brings you joy?
It just comes. Like, you know, I like Star Wars.
Okay.
You know, this is how
I
I'm
love
gonna
Star Wars.
Yeah, this is how I'm going to explain it this way. You know, I'm that kid where, you know, when you see something and then you know you can't afford it, you know, your parents can't afford it, you know, and then you tell yourself in your head, you know what, when I grow up, when I work, I want to get all this. So I'm that person. You know, I have like a whole entire collection of vintage Star Wars. Pristine. Wow. I just went crazy because I just want to be happy. So I got all that. And then I also like furniture designs. You know, I'm really into like mid-century, you know, like furniture designs and all this architects, furniture, you know, makers and stuff like that. So I got into that. So I get what I can get, you know. So I fulfill that. It's like, oh, great, you know. And then, what else?
The camera.
Yeah, the camera thing too, you know. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna make myself happy. So I did that.
So you have like so much gear. What do you want to do with it?
I borrow it to people.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know, like anybody like you know, the Star Wars stuff. You know, like my friend, the kids will come, I let them play with it. You know, they're you know, they're expensive and they're worth something and they're like vintage. You know, but it's okay. You know, I just let them play with it. Like my camera stuff. You know, like you know, it's like I know that when I started tattooing, when I came here to start tattooing, you know, I have very little things. I have to borrow from people, and then people are not very nice. You know, they are like very gatekeeping. You know, they wouldn't let you borrow this, and it's true. People do that. You know, so whenever I come across somebody that would like to play with my toys or whatever that I have, you know, and it's their passion to do it, right? I always just let it.
Oh, that's so sweet, East.
Yeah.
That's
these are just all things.
Yeah.
You know, like even if they're meant to be used. So I mean, you know, like I helping people achieve their little pockets of happiness.
Yeah. And like everything that you do, like the essence of who you are, like comes back to that. Is like making other people feel joy and fulfilled, and that's just really kind, and that's hard to find in society nowadays. So that's beautiful that you have that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
but you know, because people value things a lot. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with valuing things. I get it. You know, like you know. But they're just things.
They're just things.
You know,
you can't take it with you.
You can't take it with you. You know, and if you can help somebody find their little pockets of happiness, again, I keep on saying that. Just do it.
I mean, that's what's the most meaningful. I think I realized that when I was traveling. And that's why I'm like so big on wanting to travel more, because when I was traveling, you just see the world so much more different. Like you realize like a lot of things don't matter. Like I was sitting at a park and like seeing the trees and the, you know, nature and the rainbows, and like it just makes you see things like in perspective. Like, what do we really live for? And like what, you know, it's like all these things that we chase, ultimately you can't take it. It doesn't really matter. It might give you a happiness for a moment, but then it's like, then what? Right?
Then what?
So I think just seeing life through the way that you do, where it's like, every experience is an experience, or like being able to like bring joy to other people. I think that's the best way to live your life. Like
Yeah.
it's
Be
like,
content.
yeah.
As much as you can.
I actually wanted to ask, because I've been thinking about this while I was like prepping for today, where I've been thinking about the idea of like permanence, right?
Mhm.
And I think I thought about that because like tattooing, obviously, you can get it removed, but when you get it, you're thinking it's forever, right? And I feel like a lot of times people have this weird connection to permanence, like a fear, right? And I feel that like when I think about what comes after this life or anything like that, I'm like, okay, permanence is so scary. But when I get tattoos, I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll go get one, But I think there's something about like time,
Mhm.
and you have a very interesting perspective on time where you were like, no, it's okay to waste time.
Yeah.
People in society don't want to waste time. They're like,
No.
what's next? What's
No.
next, right?
No.
Do you think that this idea of like tattooing with permanence and time, like all of that, like, do you feel like your perspective on time changed while you're doing what you do? Or do you feel like you always thought that way?
It doesn't really matter to me a lot. I think it matters a lot to people, because I they don't really understand like things aged.
Mm-hmm.
Things don't last forever.
Mm.
It's just I might sidetrack something else, but anyways, it's just
How did you get to, I guess, that mentality? Because it is hard for people to detach themselves from like time, or like, that feeling. Like a lot of times I feel like people get attached to things and it's really hard to like let go. But I feel like you are kind of like, it's not forever. So let me live in that. Like, how did you get to that mentality? Or were you always like that?
I wasn't always like that until I was I was able to like, get whatever I want to be happy. For example, I don't know if this is the correct situation for this matter. For example, like, somebody gets something, I think things is the best way to summarize the situation. For example, like, okay, you got yourself a nice bracelet, and you spend so much money on it. Let's say it's like a Cartier. The first thing is when you wear it, you always worry about it. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to scratch this. I'm going to scratch that. This and that. But then things like for example, this things is of value.
Yeah.
Like whatever that comes from you is of value. And even and then you can always hand it down to somebody or something like that. For example, like, okay, so I have a nice bracelet, and then one day it's going to go to my daughter.
Yeah.
And I start to realize, okay, you know what? If this thing is going to scratch up and get banged up, right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'll give it to her, right? And then she probably asked me one day, I was like, Dad, why is it all banged up like this, And then when I explained to her, I said, okay, listen, like, you're going to wear this, you're going to bang it up, it's all going to scratch, something like that, right? But you have to understand, this is Daddy's bracelet. So you have, that's the best way to let go of things, or even though it's a waste, but it means something. That's how you gotta understand.
It's like when you first get the bracelet, you want it like perfect, and you're so scared. I totally get what you mean, because like when you spend so much on something, you want to have it like perfect forever.
Yeah.
But there is such a beauty of like the time spent with it, and then being able to share that time with your like you said, your daughter, and like now this has all of you plus her journey that she's gonna now take.
Okay, this is Daddy's bracelet.
Yeah.
That's why it's like that, and it will never be the same. Anything, everything, it never be the same. So I think if people understand this in a way, I think they'll understand everything in general.
Yeah.
It seems like tattoos too. Tattoos age with you. You know, so when, you know, one of these days your tattoo is going to deteriorate, you know, and then maybe your daughter, your kids, you know, will want to get the same tattoo as what you did. And then, you know, the tattoo artist will like, oh, you want it exactly the same? And then, you know, your kids will say, oh, can you make this better? You know, can you, and then, but you shouldn't, because that is mom's tattoo. So you have to do all the imperfection that's in it together with it. You know, so it's that kind of concept that will make you not worry about permanence. You know, it's yeah. I this is the best way I can explain.
No, that was
You know?
that was so good. That was the analogy was honestly very beautiful, and like obviously having a daughter too, I'm sure has like opened your eyes, and
Yeah.
you know you were talking about like that like childlikeness inside you. Like, do you feel like that also comes influence from having your daughter?
Yes, that one plays a part too, you know. But like I you know, we all remember ourselves being happy when we were a kid,
Yeah.
you know. So we should always, you know, try to get that back whenever we can. You know, like people I think there's one's true self, you know, so pure, and everybody forgets about that.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta remember that. You know, as silly things as toys, you know, it resembles you in a pure form. You know, so yeah, a lot of people are like, oh my God, you got these toys, you know, like when I dated somebody, they'll come to my house and say, oh my God, toys. What's going on? You know, and then I'll most of the time I will explain, because they'll ask why. And I was like, remember when you were a kid, you were at your purest form of happiness because of a little thing, a toy, you know, and then your parents will get it for you, or you get it yourself, your aunt, auntie, whatever it is, you know, give it to you, and then you're so happy. And then you forget that. That's the purest of happiness, the purest form of happiness. That's you there, and you forget that.
Yeah.
You know, and a toy is a resemblance of that. You know, like it doesn't have to be a toy. It could be a camera. It could be anything. You know, so yeah, always, you know, remember that. I'll ask somebody, and then they were like, oh yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is so important. It's actually something that I've been thinking about so much late last year, where like I'd be in therapy and my therapist would make me pull up a picture of me when I was a baby, or like a little kid, and then she was like, go back to a time when you were her, when you were little Debbie. And I just started crying, because I was like, it's so lost. Like, we've forgotten how to just live and like be in that childlike state. And I think that exercise was so helpful for me, because now I do it very often. I'll go look at a baby photo and be like, what did that Debbie like doing? What did that Debbie like, you know? And it just opens your eyes, because we're so in the culture of like stress and like, you know, just like what's ahead, what's next, how can I get this, how can I get that? And I'm like, let's just go to the basics. Let's just see, and like be that version of you that was just happy, at peace.
And it's so simple.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a kid, you're so simple. You just want to be happy, and that particular things, that be like a toy or something, you know, makes you happy.
Yeah.
And then you're just happy. It's so simple. So why can't we be that simple?
Yeah.
You know? And it also makes you forget when you're like at that level of happiness. You know, just like a kid. You know? I'm not saying you don't grow up.
Yeah.
You know, we all have to grow up at some point, you know, but
it's just to remember that.
Yeah, I think it's a cheat code. I think. You know, you go back to the moment when you're a baby or you're a kid, and then you have a toy and you're happy. You know.
Yeah. What is there something that you feel like fatherhood taught you?
Yeah, it taught me a lot. You know, it taught me that, you know, like if you want to grow up raising a kid, you have to be at their level to understand them. You know, I think for me, like, I try my best, you know. Yeah, when it reminds you, like, you see a kid, right? And then you see the kid is happy. And then it reminds you back, like, oh, I was at that age. I was happy, you know. So, and then, you start doing silly things with, for me, like my daughter, we always do silly things. She always tell me, Daddy, you're silly, you know. But it's just like you're at that level with them, and they understand you, and you understand them, and you understand yourself too. You know, it always reminds you of like, oh, when I was a kid, I was doing this, I was doing things, I was happy, and that's all I want to do. I just want to be happy, you know, and and it taught me a lot of myself, you know, and also like. Well, I don't know. When being a parent is hard. You know, you just do your best. You know, nobody. I don't think there's a perfect parent.
Yeah, no.
You know, there's no such thing as a perfect. Everybody tries their best. You know, even we have some grudge with our mom and dad. They're doing their best. You know, I try not to raise my kid in that world that I was raised. You know, that world doesn't exist anymore. You know, so I try to raise the best way how I know. Just do your best, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can do. And I think that people, like, there's so much grace in the fact that, like, we are all doing life for the first time. You know?
Life is hard.
Yeah, life is hard. And it's like I'm now seeing friends become parents and all of that. And like you start to think about when your parents were your parents, you know, and like how they raised you. And it's just like, when you're young and you see your parents, you're like, well, why did they do this? Why did they do that? But they were doing life for the first time, and we're doing life for the first time. So I think that is really all you can do is try your best. Like whether you're a parent or not, whether you're young or older, it's like you're doing it for the first time. So
I think it's more learning how to explain yourself better to your kid. You know, like now there's a lot of tools to help a person to explain themselves to their kids, you know. So if you understand how to explain to your kid, you know, and they will understand. So right there is you're good, you know, you're like on the right path. You know, I think it's all about explaining. You know, like I'm sure like our parents doesn't know how to explain.
Yeah.
I don't think any parents back then in that world doesn't know how to explain. They don't go for therapy. They don't have podcasts to listen to, all this kind of stuff, you know, like, so they don't know. Like this generation knows the concept of explaining, you know, so I think that itself is a very good way to understand yourself and to understand your kid. Yeah. So
for sure. What are some like hobbies that you have outside of, you know, tattooing, and like what do you do on a day off?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm also into aquascaping. Yes. So I like to do that. I like street photography.
Okay.
So I would go out and take pictures and stuff like that. You know, I try my best, you know.
I mean, you have all the gear to do it.
Yeah. And then, but it all just sit inside the SD card. Doesn't do anything. But, you know, it's just that moment I was like, oh, I have it. You know, that's all matters to me, you know.
You don't put it anywhere.
What?
You don't put it anywhere?
Yeah, not really. Because, you know, I have to like put it in here, and then I have to like go to the Lightroom and do all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh man, I'm.
So it's more just like taking it.
Yeah, taking that, and then you know, I have it in file, so I can do it whatever I want with it. But I think it's the gesture of doing it. You know, it's great.
You like a lot of like, I feel like, are you like visually aesthetic things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it goes hand in hand with tattooing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, like you gotta know what looks good, what doesn't. You know. So if you don't know what looks good, what doesn't, then you have a problem. You know. So yeah, it's like everything have to make sense. You know, even though there's chaos, but there's a sense of calmness in it. So you gotta abstract, for example. You know, you see this whole bunch of things going on all over the place, but there's a sense of calmness in it. You know, so everybody can understand this.
Yeah.
Everybody can understand it. It's just that, they have to, I think they need to be explained, If there's no proper explanation, people don't understand this. I think a lot of people a lack of proper explanation of that concept, So, and I somehow adopt that thing, like everywhere I go, I will always look at things, And for example, like I think in photography, there's a term called tangent lines. Yeah. So, tangent lines is people don't understand that. What does it mean? Okay, when one object and one object line together. So this is not a good concept. For example, like the rule of third, why?
Yeah.
So like that goes into everything. But it also goes to like, I think like the things I like. Like maybe like a toy, like a furniture, everywhere I go, I will look at things and I know what looks good, what doesn't, So, and then I think from that, it just comes into play into tattooing as well. So I just know what looks good, what doesn't, and where should go. Even the smidge of a change, it makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
So my mind is constantly doing that. Yeah.
So that's where you pull your inspiration too, is like other art forms and like what do you think that you pull most inspiration from?
I think the most is furnitures. Yeah, furnitures. There are furnitures that was like created or built back in the 40s, and they are still very, very good till this day. They are modern, and then you just like, how did this person create this back in the 40s? And now it still looks like a modern thing. So that is very, like you kind of have to wonder what are they thinking of.
It's kind of like timelessness.
Yeah, timelessness. So you have to understand the concept of timelessness. And in tattooing, right, it plays into that. Unfortunately, in my mind, the traditional type of tattoo that we see back in the days, in my mind, doesn't have that. It always have that old school kind of situation going on,
Yeah.
But what we're doing right now, like what I'm doing right now, it has that timeless concept.
Yeah.
In my mind, I think, because you can never. I don't see any angle where this looks old school at all.
Yeah.
I can't think of it. So when I can't think of it, that's what I will chase. So
Yeah.
So and then this is where I feel that okay, this is what will stay forever. It will never go away. There will be a lot of people doing it, and yes, there will be a lot of people doing it, but this is something that is for the public to enjoy, everybody to enjoy, everybody to have, and it's timeless.
Yeah.
Just like that piece of furniture. So I mean, I guess I'm, I happen to stumble upon that, I would say. I don't know, or maybe a lot of thought put into it, and then I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
You found that connection point. That's so true, because like even when I came in to get my tattoo from you, I was telling you, I was like, I kind of want to get rid of some of my tattoos. Like it's that like thick, dark line, like dark ink. But with this new one that you did for me, I'm like, I know no matter what, no matter how much time passes, I'm going to like it. Like I want to keep it, Yeah. So there is that. I totally agree. I never thought about it that way, but yeah, these like really dainty ones, it's like,
it's future-proof.
Yes.
They would say.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a future-proof tattoo.
Yeah.
Like concept, and it's great. It's nothing crazy, to be honest. It's just a handwriting.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? It's a handwriting. I mean, I try to make it a step. I do it in my handwriting. So it's not in anything else, but have that, in that category. sometimes I thought about it. I was like, man, this is going to be timeless. It's great. I mean, like, wow, awesome.
Yeah, because even I came in with fonts. Remember, I came in with like different font inspirations, and then you drew it, and I was like, "Oh, forget about all of this. I want it in your handwriting." So it's like even that too. You have a certain like people come in just for your handwriting.
Yes.
To get it done. You know,
it's,
that's amazing.
That's not my real handwriting, by the way. No, like like people ask me, "Is that your real writing?" No, I don't write leisurely like this. No, there's a difference. Okay, I don't write it. I draw it. Yes. Okay. So when you write it like that. You're thinking. I always admire those people that does the
calligraphy.
Yeah, like they write wedding cards.
Yeah.
And they do like this. I was like, oh my god, I wish I can be that, but I cannot for the life of me do that. Because I gotta make it perfect. But so in my mind it's like, okay, if I can't make it perfect, I'll draw it. So that's how I explain to people. You don't write it, you draw it. Mm-hmm. So because when you draw it, right, you can do it either way. You can do it upside down, like this, whatever way you can do it, and it will always be perfect. So that's how I explain.
Weird. That's so weird to think about. Yes. Because it's like, because for me, it's like it's script. It's handwritten. It's like handwriting, but for you, you don't even think of it that way.
No. Try it. Yeah. When you see it.
I'm going to draw my words.
No, I mean like because you choose. You see, when you come in, you choose, I want this font, I want that font. Mm-hmm. You know which one you like. Mm-hmm. So right there and then you know what looks good. Mm-hmm. See? And you can subconsciously copy that. Mm-hmm. But don't think of it as your writing. Mm-hmm. You have to draw it. You have to draw something, first before you can draw something out of your head.
You're right, yeah.
You got to do that first. So this is the best way I can explain to you. Mm-hmm. And yeah, try it. You should try it. I draw it. Yeah, I mean, like whatever you want to do, you want to take a picture. I think you want to make a movie. You want to build something. You draw it.
Yeah.
Just mention the word draw it.
You have to put it somewhere for you to like even think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you draw it, it's I don't know. I think it's just that word. You just draw it. Mm-hmm. It's a whole different concept.
Have you ever had do you have a client story that really impacted you like through your journey where they came in for like, I want like a specific thing because of.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. And this is like quite recent. I think it's like about a year and a half ago, I think. Yeah. So I've done all sort of works, all sort of fonts, everything, and then, so this guy came in. His name is Guy. I got to give a shout out to Guy. So he came in, and the first tattoo he wanted to get was the Circle of Life. Mm-hmm. So we didn't talk that much, because it's like I got to do one circle, like 7 circles, all kind of linked together. I was like, oh, okay. So we don't talk too much. It's just kind of like, oh, what do you do, stuff like that. And the second time he came in, he wanted to get the word memento mori. Mm-hmm. So I've done this a bunch of times. I don't want to lie, but I know what the meaning is, but I never really dabble into it. Mm-hmm. I never thought about it. Okay, just another word. I'm going to tattoo. That's it. Mm-hmm. This is meaningful to this guy, but to him, it's like the way he tells me what it is, right? Kind of like feel a bit. Oh, you understand it more, and I know the reason why because he's the same as me, we're immigrant. He's from London. Mm-hmm. We start off from the bottom and then now we work ourselves up to like successful in a way, stuff like that. So and he was like, this is a very deep meaning for me, memento mori. Mm-hmm. And, it's like, tomorrow may never come. That's it, and I'm like, okay, all right. But I'm still a bit kind of like, like, okay, right. And then the third time he came in and get a tattoo, he got me a coin, right? And then I have it in my pocket. I carry it every day, right? So it says, there it is.
Oh, wow.
I always carry it. See.
Oh, you could leave life right now.
Yes.
Memento mori.
And then we start talking about it, right? And then I explained to him my pockets of happiness, and and we understand it so much, you know. And then he'll say, "Hey, brother, I want you to have this," and then I'm like, "Wow, I think I need this," because as much as how we talk about, I forget about this, about the word. I forget about that. I can explain to you what life is or this, but you know what? At the end of the day, we're human. We always forget it, you know. But with him giving me this and telling me and talking to him, right? It just get tattooed in my head.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird. I've been tattooing for 20 over years, you know, and I've done this word before. But he explains it to me, he tells me, and he physically gives it to me. And it just kind of changes everything, I think.
And now you carry it with you.
I carry it all the time. I didn't put it anywhere in like a wallet or anything. I physically carry it. I just feel that if I always remember to put this in my pocket as a separate object, right, I will always remember it.
That's beautiful. No, that's so beautiful. And honestly, that's true. And I think that like remembering that makes you just live life so much more fully, and you're so much more present when you really understand that concept.
Yeah. So, you know, it's he's his guy.
Yeah. Shout outs to Guy.
Shout out to Guy, man. I was like, oh man, yeah. You know, he's from a client to a friend. I can say it's one of my good friends. You know, like
I love that.
So, yeah, that's a story of Guy.
Oh. So now we're in a new year, we're 2026. Like, is there anything that you're like really looking forward to this year?
Looking forward to, I don't know. Maybe I've done this fine line stuff. You know, it makes a big impact and kind of change the tattoo industry, which is like, it's just great, you know. I think I have one more home run in me, I guess. I don't know, you know. So this year, maybe I would find something that is in the same as that. So I'm looking forward to finding that. But at the same time, like, you know, try to find things that never come. You just gotta.
It just has to happen.
So, you know, you can say I'm looking forward to that, to something like that happening. Which is, to be honest, it's kind of hard. I don't know.
Yeah. But you never know. You never know. Right?
Yeah, I never know. So I'm just trying to find, looking forward to that.
Do you have any exciting plans for like?
You know, I don't really have plans.
I feel like you're not the type to plan. Like, I feel like life just comes to you.
The furthest I go is maybe like 2 days from now. Maybe like 3-ish. You know, I think... it's I know. As much as I look like somebody that plans a lot, but I don't plan that. I don't know. I think it's bad if you plan.
I mean,
you disappoint yourself. Don't you think so?
Not always, but I do think that living with like freedom and just like letting spontaneity come is a very beautiful way to live. Like, I think I used to be so much of a planner. I planned everything, controlled everything.
I will pack my suitcase a week before I have to leave somewhere.
Yeah, but as I get older, especially, I'm just like free. Like
it's okay.
Yeah, but I never thought that I could be that. Because before I was a control freak. Like, I was like, plan this and this and this and this itinerary to the T. But now I'm like, nah.
You got to waste that time to get to that point.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
I think I'm learning how to just let time come.
Just waste that. It's there to waste. You know, I think it's the only thing that you have. It doesn't belong to anybody. It doesn't belong to your kid. It doesn't belong to your parents. It doesn't belong to anybody. It's your time to waste. You know, like, just waste that. You know?
Oh, so funny. Okay, I'm gonna do some more like rapid fire fun questions.
All right, okay, let's go.
So first one is most meaningful tattoo you've ever done. Is it that one, or is there another one?
I have a lot of meaningful, to be honest, and the most meaningful one are sad. Yeah, at one point I was known as that guy that does handwriting of somebody that passed away, and I do a whole bunch of it. You know, handwriting and drawing of their kids or whatever like that. You know, and those are all the most meaningful one. You know, because when somebody comes in with a handwriting, a signature, or their children's drawing, right? That's the only thing that is, I think, you can physically carry with you. You know, it's not like, okay, your mom left you a house and then you live in that house. That's a thing.
Yeah.
You know, but this is something that is like, you can carry everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you can put in your pocket, and it's always like, you know, and they are words and you always remember forever, you know? So, so these are the most meaningful thing that I come across. And then like at that moment, you know, I never use an iPad. I never use an iPad. I everything has to be drawn by hand. Don't ask me why, but I don't know. It's just like a strange calling, I guess. You gotta do this by hand, right? So when somebody comes in with a signature or a kid's drawing, right? You know, typically a tattoo artist would put it on an iPad and it trace it. But no, I do it by hand with pencil, because at that moment, like I can tell which lines come first at this moment, how this person draws it, you know. And then when I do that as a tattoo, right? I felt that I am that person. And that particular time when I'm doing that, right? The person that's getting the tattoo, right? They will feel the presence of that person that passed away.
Gosh, yeah.
You know? So, yeah, one day it just happened that way. And I'm like, oh, wow, I am this person. You know, you become that person. Because you notice and they don't do it by an iPad, they do it by a pen or a pencil. So I do that, and every time when I do that, when it's done, you know, they will look at it and it's flawless, right? And then I achieve that 99%. I wouldn't say 100%. 99% is like it is exactly how I do it. Every single stroke, every single mistake is being kept, and I do that, and they always cry. You know, they cry, and then you know, and I always give them a hug. You know, and then in my mind, this will be the only time that somebody ever traced this exactly how it's with an animal. I'm that person. I'm that person. Still, like, and I know I'm that person because every artist these days use an iPad to draw. Nobody picks up a pencil anymore to draw that. You know, or they just copy it straight, make a stencil, and boom, there you go. They just do that, right? So I don't do that, and that has always been a meaningful. All those are the meaningful ones. Yeah.
Was there ever a design you said no to?
Oh, I see a whole bunch of things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, oh no. And, you know, I respect other artists' work. You know, like there are other fine line artists that I know that I, you know, and this is their work. So I try. I know I don't do that. You know, I'll tell you should go to this person to do it. You know, or sometimes the ideas are just like I know that they will regret it. You know, and then and I don't want to be linked to that. You know, so I'll just kind of say I don't think I can do this.
Okay.
You know, because. I mean, it's crazy because it's really telling the person, I know you're not going to be happy. You know, it's like kind of judgy,
like,
you know.
No, I want it.
But I'll just, you know, I'll decline. But typically it's always somebody else's work.
That they bring to you.
That they bring it to me. And then like, you know, their idea. You know, and I always try to help because it's a responsibility. You know, you people come in, they don't know, you know, so you have to be responsible, you know, so this, yeah, so there's a lot of that.
No,
so,
that's honestly really like great because I think I would rather that than someone just like want like
yeah,
be
people
like,
get upset. Oh, yeah, seriously, they will like be mad at you because you don't do this tattoo. But I'm like, well, I know one day you're gonna be like, oh, I know why this guy doesn't want it. So I'm okay with that.
What is your favorite movie?
Inception.
Oh my God, that's a great movie. Great movie.
Yes.
I watched it so much.
Oh, it's crazy. A dream within a dream.
How many times have you watched it?
I don't know.
Every time I watch it, it's something new.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And it's always something new. I don't know. It's just like, you know, I think it's the same thing as like, okay, you are in a dream and then you kind of don't like in this dream. So in that dream, you dream of something else better.
So
and
you're
in
just
that, it
deep.
just goes on, it goes deeper. So I'm like, oh, wow, he's chasing something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
No, great movie.
Great movie.
Who is your favorite musician?
Ed Sheeran.
Stop.
Yes.
I love Ed Sheeran. I tell
Yeah.
everyone that I love him.
Oh,
He's
man.
so good.
You know, like, I'm like, I don't know if Ed Sheeran here it is. I'm like, dude, what happened to you? Where do you come up with all these words? What happened to you? Like when you were in high school? It's brilliant. It's like his words are just like, wow.
Wow, that is not who I expected you to say because I seriously love Ed Sheeran.
Yeah,
But he is just so, I watch like every interview he does. Like he is just so good with his words. Like
He's simple.
yeah.
He's a simple guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's not like, you know, and he talks about things that like you felt,
Mm-hmm.
but you never know how to word it out.
Mm-hmm.
We already know what he's gonna say. You know, it's the common things that is like happy things or sad things. But it's just the way how simple it is.
Yeah.
You know, he can just use a guitar and just say it out like that.
Mhm.
It's timeless. It's crazy. It's
Yeah,
timeless. Again,
he's-
timeless.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you?
You know, have you ever heard him sing like long time ago?
Yes.
And it was like, whoa.
Like,
Mhm.
you know,
It's like it's wow. You know, it's
he has really built himself up to be the artist that he is today.
yeah. He's I don't know. I think his simplicity
Mhm.
is just you can't. Yeah, there's nothing difficult about. I mean, I'm not saying. I'm sure it's difficult what he does, but if you really dissect it, right, he's a simple person,
Yeah.
but he managed how to do it in a way that just simple
Yeah.
stuff.
And he just seems like a really down to earth, like cool guy. Like he just seems
Yeah.
kind and like, yeah,
It's just
great artist.
Great
Great choice.
artist.
Great
Yes.
choice. Is there something like a ritual that you do before you tattoo?
Yes, I do. I look at my daughter's picture.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Well, it's easier now because you know you can print the picture out and then you can like a small Polaroid looking thing and then you can paste it somewhere. So I always paste it on my tattoo machine. You know, so I was like, oh.
It's like calming for you right before
Yeah,
you do.
it does. Before I would like, like when my daughter doesn't live with me, so she lives far away, my ex-wife.
Mhm.
So, like I have pictures at home, her drawing, everything, right? So I would just look, and then I go to work. So that's kind of my ritual. I just look, just go.
Oh,
right?
I love
So
that.
now you can print pictures like that. So you can put it on the tattoo machine. So it's there.
Mhm.
So yeah, I always look at that.
Oh, that's so sweet. Is there a symbol
That you're always drawn to?
Heart. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I think heart is a very difficult thing to draw. Yeah, because when you talk about heart, right, people always think of it being symmetrical, perfect, right? And then the other half will be like, oh, I just want you to like freely draw it. But it's not as easy as you think.
Is it because you have the idea of the perfect symmetry?
Yeah, and then you have the idea of the perfect symmetry, and then you have the idea in your head that you want to please somebody to do a nice heart like that, right? But it will never come. So whenever I see a heart that somebody comes in, so and so drew it in a card or something, right? And then it always draws to me like, oh, this is very deep. So whenever I see a heart, there's a symbol. It's like, this is more than just a heart.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Wow. What is your guilty pleasure?
Cuban cigars.
Ah.
Oh man, it's the dumbest thing.
No, it's not.
It is. It's very bad. It's like, they're not cheap. You're literally throwing money away. But I don't know what it is. I think it has to do with time and like wasting it. And I have a collection-ish kind of, and I would keep it. I will keep it for years because it's like wine, right? And then I'm like, you know what? If I don't smoke this cigar, it's gonna be somebody else's cigar. I mean, like, what is that? I'm like, what? And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna smoke this cigar, right? So I smoke the cigars, right? First, you smoke one in the morning, and then like okay at night, right? And then I just started smoking them, and it was great, right? And then I'm like, okay, this is not possible. It's not like the math is not mathing. It's like it's like okay, so like you have to be like a millionaire. Maybe I don't know, a billionaire to smoke Cuban cigars on a daily.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Like a regular dude should not smoke Cuban cigar. And I was doing that. It was great. I'm gonna lie. I'm like the most expensive cigar I have, I think it was like $500.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So I smoke one. We were even thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
But it's so satisfying because it's like oh my God, this is like life.
Yeah.
And and then the regular one, the Cuban cigar, they run probably like $100.
Wow, I didn't know
for
that.
one. Yeah, and then you smoke 3 of those.
Oh.
That's like $300, right? So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna smoke it. Whatever, and then I give the guy.
Yeah.
I was like, God, my friends, I would bring it in. Vince that I work with, I was like, dude, smoke some cigars today. Then Cuban cigars sit down there, smoke cigar, and then I was like, it's a lot of money. I was like, I know, like, hey, you know what? Little pockets of happiness.
Yeah.
And then we just don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you start caring when you see that, okay, I'm smoking a lot of these cigars, and then like, okay, now I gotta, they cost quite a bit. Now I gotta like.
So now it's like when like certain moments you get to enjoy it.
Yeah, and I don't even care about it anymore because I already did that.
Yeah.
I smoke Cuban cigars.
Yeah.
Like I was a millionaire, but I'm not even close to that. So I lived that moment. So I was like, oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that's funny. What motivates you the most?
I think it motivates me the most when, I can help somebody achieve what they want to do. Like, not so many people have the opportunity to have somebody guide them, like guide them and then provide for them whatever they need to go somewhere, like, so like when I have a chance to help somebody like that, it motivates me a lot.
Yeah.
To be able to do something so I can help them more. Yeah. So yeah, it's all about it's just
I feel like that's been a common theme for you. It's like the happiness thing, the fulfillment thing, the purpose is like really to bring that kind of joy to other people or to help them.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's like I maybe it's because I went through it, and then it's such a long journey for me, like you can get, okay, this is the starting point. Okay, you're gonna get good, and you're getting good is that point, So you have to go through all that, and there's a lot of, like things you have to go through, mentally, physically, If I can help somebody instead of going from there to there, and like just shorten their journey, why not?
Yeah.
They have more time to waste on like some dumb shit, So why not? So I'm always like, like, okay, this is my shortcut.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through all this other crap. This is my shortcut. Do that. And then like, for example, like my things. Okay, no worry, just use it whatever you want. It's there. Just use it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I want to make people's life easier if I can, because like life is hard, man.
Yeah.
Like people want to get tattooed, and I get it, and then sometimes like they hesitate and stuff like that. So I just want to make it easier for them. Advise them, make sure they get the right thing. It's the best thing they ever have. They're proud. It's like, it's.
That's what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah. People need help. People don't ask for it, but you like the word sonder, you come across people.
Yeah.
Like you never know what people are going through.
Yeah.
So you offer help. People don't ask for it. You just offer.
You're like an anchor for people.
Just Just
Yeah.
give it,
Oh man, thank you so much, East. This
You're
was so
welcome.
fun. Your story is just amazing. You're such a just a ball of light, and you sharing just your heart was so beautiful for me to hear. And I'm gonna be coming back because you're gonna be tattooing me
Yes,
again. So I'll be
yes.
back soon. But really, thank you so much for this. It was so fun.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.